Hi, Wally George. Stay right where you are. I'll be up next with Hot Seat right here on KDOC-TV, Channel 56, Anaheim. Don't go anywhere.
Are you ready to get on the hot seat with Wally George? Hang on for the wildest, most controversial talk show on television, featuring enthusiastic participation from our live studio audience and interviews with provocative newsmaker guests. And now, here he is, that hard-hitting, award-winning, conservative voice of television, Wally George!
Thank you very much, and welcome all across America. This is Hot Seat, the show with guts. And this is the program that has the greatest studio audiences in history. There they are. Okay. It's good to see you guys here tonight, and we have some ludicrous people on the show tonight. Back with us again is one of the leading spokeswomen for the feminist movement and the National Organization of Women. The NOW is celebrating their 20th anniversary. I say that's 20 years too long. What do you think? Hey, these feminists in the NOW have done more to hurt the women of America than to help them. Don't you think so? And then we have, I never thought we'd ever see this moron again, but he's back, Norm Lebow back, who has now proclaimed himself the spokesperson. He's in favor of drugs in America. And he's leading, believe it or not, he's leading an organization to have a revolution in America. And then we have Rich Yurijian here, and we're going to be debating on advertising of cigarettes. I say cigarettes are poison. They give you cancer, and they should not be advertised anywhere, right? Okay. All right, now we'll get into my opening commentary in a moment. Right now it's time to introduce our great crew. Sitting in for Brian Lockwood tonight, our director in the booth. Let's have a nice hand for Kevin Little. Whatever, Kevin, in the booth. Oh. And on the floor, ladies and gentlemen, our good friend, Pat Rondo, right there. And our lovely and talented producer, Paige Poliquin. There's Paige. And of course, my good friend, David Kennedy. All right, David. Okay. Hold it. Okay, let's hold it down, the audience now, everybody. Let's hold it down. It's time for my commentary of the night, and then we'll get on to questions from the audience and our guests, okay? You know, that Jimmy Carter is really showing himself to be the master of sour grapes. He is the perfect example of a very poor loser. Carter could hardly wait to jump all over President Ronald Reagan because of the circus going on in Washington over this Iran thing. Carter said, that President Reagan was handling this thing all wrong. And he told the press that he would have done things a lot different if he were still President of the United States. Come on. Hey, Carter. Hey, Jimmy, if you're watching, you little wimp. I hope Jimmy is watching back in Atlanta. Let me tell you something, Jimmy. You and your bad-mouthing our president. You, Jimmy Carter, were the worst president in the history of the United States of America. You, Jimmy Carter, were an embarrassment to this country. People all over the world were laughing at you, Jimmy. They lost all respect for America under the Carter presidency. Jimmy Carter offered us no leadership whatsoever. He was a spineless wimp, and now he dares to criticize Ronald Reagan, who turned this country around in 4 short years and made us all proud to be Americans again. Ronald Reagan is everything Jimmy Carter would like to be, and he's very jealous of President Reagan's popularity, and he'll never forgive Ronald Reagan for the overwhelming defeat he handed him back in the election. If Jimmy Carter had 1 ounce of decency in him, he would call for the nation to rally around their president for the good of the country. But no. Jimmy Carter showed us a clearer picture of how small and petty he can be. I'll be right back. Thank you very much.
I'm looking for a big deal on video and stereo.
Wow, it's Larry Holmes.
Challenging your price. How much are these car speakers?
Suggested retail price $99.
Take a suggestion, $9 each. How about car stereo?
Right here, $100 value for just $19. That's right, Larry. You can really save during this $1 million emergency clearance sale.
And you too can score a knockout with these prices, so get here fast while these prices last.
What are the barriers to achieving your goals? How can life destroy your confidence? What is stopping your success? Read Dianetics, the #1 self-improvement bestseller by L. Ron Hubbard. Buy your copy now at Walden Books. It's an education in yourself.
Car shopping? Looking for a good deal? Campus Ford on the edge of Moreno Valley has a large selection of new and used cars in all shapes, sizes, and colors. At Campus Ford, you're a VIP, and we go out of our way to give you the deal you want. We get lonely at Campus Ford. We're on the other side of town, so we try harder. We're ready to make a deal with you today at Campus Ford off the 60 freeway at University exit between Moreno Valley and Riverside. Drive in today and drive out in a new or used car from Campus Ford.
Tonight at midnight, have fun on TV 56 with Adventures with the Poor Man.
How big a bite can the poor man take? Here at Molly's, we'll finally answer that question for our television viewers.
Experience the feeling and the fun of the Southland on Adventures with the Poor Man. Tonight at midnight on KDOC-TV 56.
Welcome back to Hot Seat. Hey, this is the program to watch every Saturday night, am I right? Okay, now we'll get to our questions from the audience. First, it's time for the mailbag. You ready? Okay, wait till you hear this one, gang. You're going to love this. Hey, this comes from a guy named Phil. Wait till you hear this. Phil says, "My dearest Wally." am a happy homosexual male. He said, hold it. He says, my boyfriend and I don't like the way you talk about us gays. He says, you better stop it or else. Oh. Hey, Phil. Hey, Phil, sweetheart. Hey. Let me tell you, Phil, I'm really scared to death, you little pervert. Get out of here. Here's another real loser. His name's Lewis, and he says, Wally, how can you support this country when it's going to hell? Wait a minute. He says, America is a joke, and you are a blind, brainwashed idiot. Hey, Lewis. Hey, Lewis, call me collect, and I'll send you to Moscow where you belong. All right. Here's a nice letter, and it comes from a girl named Madeline, and she says, Wally, the first thing I want to say is we love your show, and we agree with everything you have to say. Yeah, okay. Come on. Okay, hold it down. Hold it down. Okay, yes, go ahead.
I believe that Ronald Reagan was on drugs at the time, and I say you'd be a better president than him any day.
Hey, if anybody's on drugs, you are, pal, and you're out of here. Okay, yes, hold it, yes.
Might you be against breakdancing in the USA?
Why am I against breakdancing?
A breakdancer. Well, on the shadow. I say, come with me.
We got a bunch of nitwits up here, David. Oh, hold it down. Hold it down. Okay, yes, go ahead.
What do you think about legalizing marijuana?
I say I'm totally against it, and if you are for it, you're a little jerkette. Now get out of here. No legalization of marijuana. We don't legalize any drugs in this country. Never. Go ahead.
Yeah, well, what do you think of the upcoming presidential election? Do you think the Democrats have a chance this year?
No way. Hold it. Ronald Reagan is going to come out triumphant in this whole thing, and in 1988, the Republicans will not only capture the White House, but they will recapture the Senate. I'll be right back.
National Lumber presents Chickens from Space! Strange creatures from another galaxy.
What's this got to do with 2x4s?
Just roll with it, baby! Roll with it!
Their mission? Beam the lowest prices and best service to Southern California.
The all-trade 14-piece air tool set with wrenches and sockets, now $39.97. Glidden Rustmaster Oil Enamel prevents rust indoors and out. $16.77 a gallon.
You know, I think I forgot to pack my toothbrush.
National number.
He's beautiful. He dribbles down court. Goes high for the layup. 2 more for the Clippers. Not everyone can play basketball in the arena, but everyone with a touch-tone phone can play Dow Clippers basketball at 976-6666. Correctly answer 3 basketball trivia questions. And you'll win a certificate redeemable for a pair of reserved seats to selected Clippers home games. Join in the action. Dial 976-6666. Just 95 cents per call, and hoop it up.
It's okay to say no.
And now it's easy.
Wear or display the symbol that will say no for you. Order your anti-drug kit and receive 2 shirts, 2 hats, and 5 decals, all for $19.95 plus $1.50 postage and handling. Send check or money order to CMI, P.O. Box 628, Tusk, California 92680. Or to use your Visa or MasterCard, call 1-800-334-3030. Operators are standing by now. Sorry, no CODs.
Tired of lawnmowers that just won't start? Tustin Honda present the Honda Power Team. Honda lawnmowers turn this into this, and that's just the start. Honda tillers have power to grow. Honda pumps put water in its place, while Honda outboards push you through it. And the Honda generator lets you plug into a power source wherever you go, quiet and efficient. Honda power equipment so dependable it could be the last you ever buy. Find out more at Tustin Honda, 100 North Tustin Avenue. Put the Honda Power Team to work for you.
Okay, thank you very much, and welcome back. This is Hot Seat, and now we're going to get to our first guest that we're going to fly on the Hot Seat tonight. And, of course, she's back again. She's been here before on these liberal causes. And go ahead, David, if you will.
Okay, making a return visit to the Hot Seat tonight is our feminist enemy, Ann Walker, who tonight is pushing that ridiculous organization now. Shall we say what it stands for? Here she is, Ann Walker.
Now, and hold on. We understand now that the National Organization of Women is celebrating 20 years in operation. I say that is 20 years. I say that's 20 years too long. What do you say? And hold on a minute. I watched all those feminists on television about a week ago. Betty Friedan and Jane Fonda. And Gloria Steinem in her leather boots. I'll tell you one thing. Now, the National Organization for Women, what they're doing is they're turning men into wimps. They are trying to be men. They are trying to be masculine. And I tell you, Ann, NOW, the National Organization for Women, has done more to hurt women in America than they've ever helped anybody. Hold it. Yes.
Okay. National Organization for Women has done more for women's rights and more for women's dignity than any other organization has in many, many years. And men like you who are afraid of women coming to their own, becoming individual human beings, having a right to speak for themselves, having a right to demand equal opportunities, equal work, equal pay. There's nothing masculine about that. If a woman is going to go to work, why shouldn't she earn as much money for doing her job as a man does? That's all we're asking for, is recognition of our intellect.
Have you ever seen any of those women standing up there talking about
Have you ever seen me, Wally? You know me. I am not a masculine woman. I am not a man. I don't want to be a man. I love being a woman. I love being feminine. But I am an intellectual human being. I am a human being who has something worthwhile to say, and I want to say it. And if I'm going to be paid to do it, I want to be paid to do it. I do not want a job denied to me simply because I'm a woman. I want to get a job because I have the qualifications, I have the intellect, and I have the ability to perform the job. And I don't want a job because I'm a woman. I don't want a job because I'm a man.
I'll tell you, but
I want a job because I am qualified, and I want to be paid for it.
There are too many women who insist on getting a job just because they happen to be women.
These are not women in now. The women in now are the women who are standing up and saying the same thing I'm saying. Judge me on my qualifications. Judge me on my intellect. Judge me on my capability. Of course, it's men like you who say that because you're afraid of women like me who will stand up for my rights.
What NOW is saying is hire women before men because we've been persecuted too long.
So you don't listen. The problem is you don't listen. You hear what you want to hear. Because when you hear what you want to hear, then you can qualify it. Wally, I want to ask you a question. All of your producers, Mary and the young lady now, you have women producers. May I ask you why?
Yeah, I'll tell you why. Because they happen to be feminine women, not strident, masculine feminists, right?
But you don't have to be masculine to be a feminist. You have these women producers because they can get the job done. Okay, and that's as simple. That's what the basis of now is.
Let me tell you.
If a woman can get the job done, let her get it done. I don't want to be a man. I love men to open doors.
Do you know what now is and?
Then you don't belong in now. You don't belong in that organization.
Of course I do.
They're the strident loudmouth.
That's right.
But don't you realize any organization that has gone up for change, you have to have extremists. Okay, that's the way you get a problem brought to attention.
Now,
you have to be extreme. You have to present the problem.
Hey, Big Mouth, I want to say something here.
Hey, whose show is it? Yours or mine?
Wait a minute.
It's mine. You invited me on. You listen to me.
And
yes, Wally.
Hey, the leaders of now do not ask for things; they demand things, right?
You have to. You have to demand for things to change. If I ask you, oh, Wally, please let me come on your show and talk, and maybe you'll let me hear me out. Nobody's going to, that's wimpish. Nobody's going to listen to me.
Women.
I have to stay here, and I have to tell you that this is the way it is. Because otherwise, if I'm going to ask your permission, you're not going to give me
Men
permission.
like women to behave like women, don't we?
I behave like a woman. I am very feminine. But when it comes time when you tell me I have to subjugate my intelligence to your intelligence, I tell you there's no way, because as far as I'm concerned, I'm a lot more intelligent than you are. And I'm never going to subjugate myself.
As far as I'm concerned.
But I still expect you to open the door for me when I come in and open the door for me when I go out.
Hey, listen.
Close it when you go out.
You see, listen, do you know what's happening? Do you know what's happening? Because of now, marriages are being destroyed because...
Oh, Wally, marriages are being destroyed. One of the reasons now is important now is because there are so many women There are so many women now who are
my point first.
A household.
Hey, can I make my point before you say something?
I will give you the courtesy.
Don't answer me before I make my point. Now,
okay, make your point.
Now, I'll say my statement, and when I point to you, you can talk and not before.
Don't say to me. It's rude to point at anybody, woman or not. He's going to give me permission to talk. That's what a good person.
See how these strident feminists are? She wants to take over my show, but she's not going to do it. Let me tell you, what the women of now are doing is, now I'll finish my statement and then you can respond. Because of their strident, pushy, masculine stylings, they are destroying marriages by the hundreds and thousands because husbands are getting turned off by their wives who are joining now and coming back and being pushy and yelling, strident and demanding and nagging, and men are leaving women in droves because they're behaving like now tells them to behave. Now go ahead and answer that.
Okay, Wally, first of all, I don't know where you get your figures, and I don't know where you come off with this. Okay? Marriage in America has definitely has had a lot of problems. One of the reasons that now started, there are so many families now that there are a very high divorce rate. I will grant you that. It's not because of women's rights. It's not.
Yes, it is.
One of the reasons that now was formed is that women were all of a sudden found that they had to support themselves, that they were one head of a household because the men deserted him. And then they had to go out into the job market, and they found that no matter what their skills were, they were not paid equal money for equal work. And when the only way you're going to get something is for people to band together and do something together gives you strength. You've heard you've got strength in numbers, okay? So women banded together and said, hey, look, if I'm going to go in the job force, if I have work, my husband's walked and he's left me with 4 kids to support. I need to earn equal amount of money with my husband. Now listen, 10 years ago you did not have any anchor women in news. Now today,
how long are you going to talk?
Of the reasons.
How long are you going to sit there and talk, Brad?
Listen to you, Wally. You asked me a question. I'm only answering you.
Hey, you weren't conducting a monologue.
I'm answering you a question. I'm telling you right now the story.
You're not going to take a half an hour to answer me.
Well, why not?
See, what's wrong is you damn pushy, strident women.
Because of you pushy, strident men.
What I'm saying is...
You men don't want to hear the truth. You want to hear what you want to hear. That's why you think we should be sweet little housewives and sit home and knit and crochet and cure meals and wash your clothes and not complain.
Women are trying to assert themselves at home as they are on the job, and what they're doing is they are trying to take over being the head of the household, and I say that's what's killing marriages.
They are not. They're being forced to take over the head of the household because the men leave.
Let's face it, the man...
Look at what a good job is the man doing running the world. We have nothing but wars, we have hatred, we have prejudice. You wouldn't have that if women were in charge. We're the ones who bear the children. We're the ones who bring them up. We don't want to send our children off to war and kill them. It's you men that send our children off to war.
And I want to tell you this. I want to tell you this. The man should be and always will be the head of the household. I'll be right back.
Ladies and gentlemen, forget everything you've ever heard about stereo and video sales. Millions of dollars of overstock inventory has been sold direct to the public, no matter how shameful the sacrifices. This weekend only, get the big deals like these. Car stereos from under $20. Complete home stereo systems, a fire sale price at $99. Cut your own prices on video cassette recorders, car speakers, home speakers, your choice from $9 each. Compact laser disc players, telephones, color TVs, and hundreds of other deals. Any other deal is no big deal.
Apartment renters, before you pay another month's rent, find out how you can own a magnificent 3-bedroom, 2.5-bath duplex home at Royal Palm Ranch in Chino for just 5% down and $655 a month. Spacious kitchens feature dishwasher and self-cleaning oven. Master bedroom suites include bathroom, powder room, and walk-in closets. 2 more spacious bedrooms for the kids and guests. Formal dining area downstairs, plush wall-to-wall carpeting throughout the house. All homes include a private backyard with a patio and a 2-car garage. There's a community swimming pool with relaxing spa. And for security, all homes are pre-wired for burglar alarms. Plus, there's complete perimeter fencing around the community. Apartment renters, you can afford the home of your dreams for just $655 a month. Call this toll-free number for this free brochure and driving instructions to Royal Palm Ranch. Call now. There's no obligation.
Call toll-free 1-800-648-1300. 1-800-648-1300. Call 1-800-648-1300 toll-free. 1-800-648-1300.
There's a new West Side Story featuring O'Connor Lincoln Mercury, California's #1 volume Lincoln Mercury sales leader with over 70 years experience of serving the automotive public. O'Connor now offers some outstanding buys made possible by a special factory purchase. For a limited time only, O'Connor Lincoln Mercury Mercure is offering 3.9 annual percentage rate financing on selected models. Remember, it's a sale of a lifetime at O'Connor Lincoln Mercury Mercure, located freeway close on Crenshaw Boulevard, just south of the Santa Monica Freeway in Los Angeles.
Welcome back. I'm Wally George, and my guest is Al. It should be Al, right?
He finally got it right.
Wanda George. I'm on the Wanda George show tonight.
It should be Al.
Wanda George.
Big Al.
My name is, her name is Ann Walker.
And his name is Wanda George.
And she's here to speak for NOW, the National Organization of Women. And what I was saying when we went to the break is, and I hope you realize this, that the reason that so many marriages are breaking up is because of this strident now philosophy. You should realize that back in the good old days when marriages were strong, women allowed the man to be the head of the house and make all the decisions, and that's what you do today. What?
Now, women allow themselves to be subjugated to men because it was not the thing to do, okay? In our society, a woman is raised to be subservient to a man, and it's only a man who is weak, who has no guts, who will feel intimidated by a woman who has her own mind, who is intellectual, and who wants what's best for her and her family and everybody concerned.
But the man should be the head of the house. He always should be.
There's no should, Wally. What was good 20 years ago isn't good today. Situations have changed. Times have changed. I personally, I've been married 27 years. My husband is the head of our household, and he doesn't mind me coming on here and talking to people like you because he knows that I'm standing up for my rights as being a woman. Now, there's nothing wrong with I will not subjugate myself to anyone. I'm not the type of person who needs to be subjugated. I have a mind. I just received my degree from the University of California. Matter of fact, today it's official. I have my Bachelor's of Arts. There's nothing wrong with that. He is proud of the things I accomplished because he is not afraid. He is not.
He is not. That the man should be the head of the house at all times and make the decision.
It depends on the household. There's no should, Wally. It depends on the situation. But when a man deserts a household, wait a minute, Wally. When a man deserts a household, what is a woman supposed to do? And many men do desert the households today.
Now listen.
Wait a minute, what is she supposed to say the man does leave? She's got 3 or 4 kids. The man of the household leaves for whatever reason, whether she's a now woman or whether she's subjugated to herself.
What's happening?
What happens? What is the woman supposed to do on her own, Wally? Does she not have the right to go ahead and make a living for herself, for her children? Do you know the biggest problem right now in single-family homes? Women have to sell their homes, their cars. They have to live on a lower standard of living because they cannot support themselves the way a man can support because they do not get equal pay for equal work.
All right, let me
That's what we're saying. Just give us equality. We don't want to be better.
Now let me talk. You've talked long enough. Now, this is it. This is what I've been trying to say, and you're tap dancing around this whole issue.
No, I'm telling you the truth. You just don't want to hear what the truth is.
You don't want to hear the truth.
I know what the truth is.
The philosophy of now, the philosophy of the feminist movement is this: to compete in the job market stridently, to compete at home stridently with the man, and that's what's turning off millions of men all across America. And I say this, the women of America have got to realize that they never had us so good 10 or 20 years ago, and they should turn...
20 years ago, I'm telling you, Wally, that was 20 years ago. Get out of the past.
I say let's return to the good old days. Let's go back to the past where men were men and women were women. No, hold on. I got to say.
Okay.
You see, in the good old days that I remember when I was a kid, the man was the president of his household, the woman was the vice president, and she accepted that. She was the mother, the wife. And you know what? There are so many kids getting into trouble. And why? Because people from now and the feminist movement are pushing women to get into the job market even when they don't want to. You see, the now people, the feminists, are trying to make women feel guilty if they don't go out and get jobs and compete in the job market. More women should stay home and take care of their children.
I don't believe now is telling women that they are guilty for staying home.
Oh, yes, they are. Oh, yes, they are. They're saying, I've heard...
They're saying that, look, if you're out in the job market, you should have equal consideration. Anybody has got... You have to be strident. You have to be loud. You have to make noise to make people sit up and take notice of you. They are not going to sit up and take notice of you unless you make noise. Once you've been taken notice of, once you get your point across, you can work
and
toward
what I've tried to say is,
and
what I've tried to say is, and I mean it, what the people of now have done, what the feminists have done, is they've made women feel guilty. If
no, they haven't.
Yes,
no,
they have.
It's men like you who do not have the strength to appreciate a woman on her own terms, who want women to think they should feel guilty when they want to be individuals.
I'm saying they're making women feel guilty if they want to. Wait till I finish.
Why? You don't have a good point to talk about.
I'm saying they're making them feel guilty if they want to.
You don't have the strength to respect a woman who is on equal terms with you. You are afraid of them.
Do you hear what I'm saying to you? Can you understand me? Do you have the intelligence to understand me?
You hear what I'm saying?
No, it's my lips. They are making women feel guilty for wanting to stay home and be wives and mothers.
No, they are not.
Yes, they are.
I don't feel guilty because I stay home and I'm a wife and a mother.
And you said yourself that society has been going to hell for the last 20 years. Things are not. How old did you say this organization is?
20 years old.
It just happens to be 20 years.
No, it's only 20 years because it's become, the problem has come to light, and the women have spoken out for themselves.
We have all these...
You always have a shift. Whenever you have a change, you always have a shift in one direction. Eventually, it'll go back to the other, and then eventually you'll have it down the middle. People will respect each other as equal human beings. That's all we
have
really
all these latchkey children coming home from school with no mother to greet them with their milk
and cookies.
Because
a lot of those latchkey children are a result of a divorce because they don't have a mother
to come. And the divorce is a result of now's philosophy.
No, it's not that simple. It has never been that simple. Don't be simple-minded.
All right. First of all, I want to say, Al, that you cannot do half as good a job as man because you're not strong. You do not have the ability.
It's true that there are physical jobs that women cannot do, but there are women now who are firemen who never were. There are women who are policemen who never were, who do an excellent job. There are women truck drivers who do just as good a job.
And that's fine, but like Wally said, you don't need to even try to talk or push any women into getting a job when they don't want a job.
Yes, they're doing that all the time, man.
Wally said.
I want them to have the courage to stand up and do what they want because they want to do it. And that's the job of the
Okay. Yes.
Hi, I was wondering, you're such a feminist. How do you feel about abortion?
I am in favor of abortion.
Go ahead.
Today's society were unwanted children. They were unwanted, they were abused, and they grew up to be detriment to society because they were unwanted in the first place. A lot of people who are on welfare now have many, many children who will not get the proper education. They will not get the proper guidance from the parents because they were unwanted and unnecessary.
And let me tell you something. I have received countless letters from women because I have been so stridently against the killing of unborn babies. You feminists, like I say, it's aborting the fetus. I say it's killing an unborn child.
It's better to kill an unborn child to have that child grow up and murder people like this walking rapist and killer. You know he was an abused child. You know he was an unborn child.
I have letters.
And he's a sick person, and society would have been a lot better off without him.
I have letters from countless young women who write to me and say, I was going to have an abortion, but I've listened to you, Wally, for years of what you've said about abortion. And they tell me in their letters, I listened to you, and I didn't have an abortion, and I'm glad, because now I have a beautiful baby in my arms.
I'm not saying you have to have an abortion because I'm a feminist. I'm saying
go
it's
ahead,
up to the woman.
All right. Why is it that you think that men get more credit and pay for the same job as women do?
Because I've been in the job market, and I know that that's the way it was. You know, it's changed a lot nowadays. If you watch the news now, you're not old. I don't think you're 20 years old. 20 years ago, there were no anchor women on television. There were no women in executive positions. There were very, very few women in executive positions. If I went in to ask for a job, they would want me to be a secretary.
But now, that's 20 years ago.
Even with a college degree, I couldn't go in as a vice president. I'd have to go in as a secretary.
Something to say.
No, this is what I'm saying. Now, I'd like to be a secretary. I want more for myself and people like me. Go ahead.
You're talking about 20 years ago. What about now?
That's what I'm saying. Now, because of now, I can go in and apply for that.
Yeah, but you see,
As a president, I couldn't have done that 20 years ago. I can now because of the people who stood up for the right.
But Ann, you are still not. Listen to me. You are still not happy. Women like you are still not happy. You know what they're calling for? People like are calling for the Equal Rights Amendment. Hey, they don't want the ERA. They want the SRA, the Superior Rights Amendment. They don't want to be equal to men. They want to be superior to men, and it's never going to happen. I'll be right back.
Could it be perhaps that women were superior, and that's why you're so afraid?
Have you been the victim of an accident? You have rights, and Slater of Beverly Hills will fight for those rights.
We don't just negotiate to settle your claim. If necessary, we'll go to court. We deal exclusively in personal injury law. All cases are handled on a contingency fee basis. No recovery, no fee. We provide medical care at no cost to you. Have your loss of earnings reimbursed, and much more.
For a free consultation, call 213-854-4444.
All kinds of bells, sweet little bells, all seem to say, throw cares away. Christmas is here, bringing the cheer, ding-dong-ding-dong, 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 ding-dong, ring, jump, ring, dong. Once you hear words of a cheer from everywhere, filling the air. Oh, how the bells ring, oh, how the bells ring, ring, while people sing songs of a cheer. Christmas is here, ding-dong-ding-dong, ding-dong, ring, jump, ring, dong, ding-dong, 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 ding-dong. Once you hear words of a cheer from everywhere, filling the air. Oh, how the ring, while people sing songs of a cheer. Christmas is here. Ding dong ding dong, ding dong, ring dong ring dong, ding dong, ding dong, ding dong, ding dong, ding dong. On I said, edge of the tone to every home. Ding dong, ding dong.
Hey, don't forget to join me every Monday night for 3 hours on KLAC 57 AM, Monday nights from 7 to 10 p.m. for the Wally George Great American Radio Show. You can call me on the phone for 3 hours. We'll talk together, and I'll be interviewing newsmakers of the day. Join me every Monday night from 7 until 10 p.m. on that great station, KLAC 57 on the AM dial. See you Monday night at 7. Thank you. Thank you very much, and welcome back, everybody. This is Hot Seat, and I'll tell you, I've had it with those feminists, David. I'll tell you, NOW has been in business way too long. Okay, now, I want to invite you all to join me every Monday night on KLAC Radio. I'm on for 3 hours from 7 until 10 p.m. We do the Wally George Great American Radio Show on KLAC 57 on the AM dial. So join us there for 3 hours. You can talk to me on the air here in Southern California, okay? See you Monday nights from 7 until 10, KC 57 on the AM dial, okay? Yeah! Okay. All right. David, let's introduce our next guest on the hot seat tonight.
Okay, next on the hot seat is Rich Yurijian, who is for the public advertising of cigarettes.
Now, Rich. Okay. Now, Rich. That there is a movement across America that it wants to ban all cigarette advertising from magazines and newspapers and billboards, and I am in favor of that. They've already banned cigarette advertising from radio and television. Why shouldn't they ban it from papers and billboards and everything else? Why not?
They have a choice. Well, all these people have brains in their heads, and if they want to smoke, then you have to let them do it.
No, you don't have to let them do it.
Yeah, you do.
Why do you think they banned cigarette advertising on radio and television? Why do they do that?
The same reason they did it with alcohol, because they wanted to deglamorize it as well they should. I'm not going to sit here and tell you that cigarette smoking is a wonderful thing. You're a former smoker, and I'm a former smoker, and we both thought it wise enough to stop it. But in order to live in this country and enjoy the things we all enjoy, you have to let some people make up their own mind.
I don't have to allow people to advertise on billboards and magazines and newspapers to try to brainwash them into poisoning themselves. You know very well that the Surgeon General of the United States of America has determined that cigarette smoking does cause cancer. It's poison.
Sure it is.
So why should we why should we allow these cigarette manufacturers to try to induce people into smoking when it's poison and it's going to kill them? Why?
They have to make up their own mind. They have to be able to say to themselves, in view of what the Surgeon General says, this man's educated, he's got his degree, I'm going to do it anyway.
Should we allow people to advertise rat poison, to drink rat poison? Would you allow that?
But the bottom line is, it's like anything else in life. If you're going to misuse it, you're going to be consequences. If someone wants to take rat poison now and snort it or smoke it, they can do it. They can do it.
The bottom line is that if there's any product in any store that is known to cause harm, what do they do, Al? They immediately, or Rich, what do? They immediately they immediately take that product off the shelves because they find it to be dangerous to people's health. So why in the world should not they ban advertising poisonous cigarettes that will give you lung cancer and kill you? Do you agree with that?
My point is this, is that you have to be able to let people make up their own mind. This can't be America. This can't, you're calling for just, let Wally make up his rules and everyone go along with them. That's stupid.
No, I'm not.
That's stupid. What ridiculous.
No, what I'm saying, we have to have some kind of laws to protect the people of America.
You do by having that little inscription that says what the Surgeon General says. And if people are stupid enough to still smoke, gotta let them do it. Gotta let them do it.
Do you think advertising on billboards and so forth will cause more people to smoke?
I don't think so.
You don't think
I
so?
don't think so.
Then why do it?
I don't think so.
They must. The reason they do it is because they think more people are going to smoke, or they wouldn't invest the money in it.
I disagree. I think that if television and radio, I don't want to see them back on television and radio, but I think that if they were instituted still on TV and radio, I don't think you'd see them go to billboard. I think it's the last resort. I don't think they can.
Wait, Rich,
they can't do anything
no
else.
sense at all. You know very well that these companies would not be spending millions of dollars on billboards and
It's their only
newspapers.
venue. It's their only venue.
And they are encouraging people to smoke, or they wouldn't be spending the money.
But no one's putting when you were smoking, did anyone put a gun to your head?
I'm telling you this.
No, did they? Did anyone say, Wally, you gotta smoke? You knew that surgeon. You knew that Surgeon General warning was on there the whole time. You smoked anyway. So you admit now,
Hold on.
I was a stupid
Don't
idiot
tell
for
me
smoking.
that.
You were a stupid idiot for smoking.
When I
was a stupid idiot for smoking. So we don't smoke
when
anymore.
When I learned what the Surgeon General had determined, I stopped smoking just like that.
Oh, no, you didn't. No, you didn't.
Oh, yes, I did.
No one does that. Nobody does that.
Hold on.
Nobody does that.
And these little disclaimers on the billboards and in the magazines, they're so small you can't even read what it says in those disclaimers.
It's questionable if you can read anyway, so what's the difference?
Hey, let's get down to the issues. Also, I am very, very against on billboards on freeways, they advertise hard liquor, and you know what really kills me? It's so hard liquor is also banned from radio and television.
But you can still go buy a drink and have a Christmas spritzer, can't you?
Yeah,
well, you probably have had a few already. And if smoking is so dangerous and does all the bad things, obviously you're a product of that because you're mentally ill.
I'm looking for a big deal on video and stereo.
Wow, it's Larry Holmes.
I'm challenging your price. How much are these car speakers?
Suggested retail price $99.
Take my suggestion, $9 each. How about car stereo?
Right here, $100 value, just $19. That's right, Larry. You can really save during this $1 million emergency clearance sale.
And you too can score a knockout with these prices, so get here fast while these prices last.
I've been recommending Galpin Ford Sepulveda for about 12 years now on television. I've been driving Galpin Fords for about 12 years. I'm a happy customer. You will be too. Come on in. If you're thinking of buying or renting or leasing a car, the only place I think is Galpin Ford in Sepulveda. See Bert Bachman and his great staff there. I think you'll be more than delighted. It's Galpin Ford, 15505 Roscoe Boulevard in the city of Sepulveda. Tell Bert I sent you. Thank you very much.
It's okay to say no.
And now it's easy.
Wear or display the symbol that will say no for you. Order your anti-drug kit and receive 2 shirts, 2 hats, and 5 decals, all for $19.95 plus $1.50 postage and handling. Send check money order to CMI, P.O. Box 628, Tustin, California, 92680. Or to use your Visa or MasterCard, call 1-800-334-3030. Operators are standing by now. Sorry, no CODs.
The second annual Bunkhouse Stampede at the Forum in L.A. Monday, December 29th at 7:30. A 22-man Bunkhouse Battle Royal for $50,000, including the Rock and Roll Express. Only in Arn Anderson, Barry Windham, the Legion of Doom, the Road Warriors, Midnight Express with Jim Cornette, and a special grudge match. The American Dream, Dusty Rhodes and Nikita Koloff team up to take on Tully Blanchard and the World Heavyweight Champion, Nature Boy Ric Flair. Monday, December 29th at 7:30. The NWA, the Bunkhouse Stampede at the Forum.
Okay, welcome back, everybody. We'll get to our final guests on the hot seat in just a moment. But let me first say a few things about Yurijian before I kick them off. It is wrong to induce people across America to take things that will poison them, like cigarettes. That's what the Surgeon General has determined and made cigarettes, put that on the packages, that cigarette smoking not only may, but does cause lung cancer and does kill you. That's why it's wrong for big, huge billboards on the highways and big, huge ads in major television, in major magazines and newspapers trying to urge people to smoke and to kill themselves. I say that's wrong. It's morally wrong. And I say we should put an end to it. What do you think? Okay. And also, it's wrong to advertise booze on big billboards on the freeway where people are driving. There's a billboard I saw there's a billboard I saw not long ago that advertised a hard liquor that advertised and showed a big bottle of booze, and over the bottle on the billboard it said, "Reward yourself." What a ridiculous thing to say when people are driving down the freeway, and looking up on a billboard and having someone say, "Reward yourself with some hard booze." That is disgusting and despicable. Okay. All right, now we'll get to our final guest in a moment. But right now I want to tell you, we do love to hear from you. Write to me. If you want information about the official Wally George fan club, we'd love to hear from you. If you want to order the album, the Wally George album, hey, $10 including tax and mailing. Or if you'd like to come down maybe and debate me on the show sometime, whatever your reason, let me hear from you. I read every letter, absolutely, and I answer everyone as soon as we can. My address is just Wally George Hot Seat, P.O. Box 56 TV, Anaheim, California, 92803. That's Wally George Hot Seat, P.O. Box 56 TV, Anaheim, California, 92803. Okay, now it's time to introduce our last guest, and David Kennedy kindly gave up his chair so we could, I don't know why he did, because I'll tell you, hold it. So we introduce now back on our show, and the only reason I have him back now is because he's getting into worse and worse things. Norm Lebow of the Religion of Drugs.
Can I say something, Wally? I want to make sure that you're right. We shouldn't advertise cigarettes. We should be advertising buds on TV.
You may think you're really smart, Lebow, but you're not. You are the scum of the earth. Look at me.
Hey, Wally, no. Coming from you, I'll take that as a compliment.
Listen to me. You are a rodent. You are a filthy, vile scum, and I hope to God someday they lock you up for the rest of your life. Yeah. Now I'll tell you what. You are going around this country to schools trying to induce young teenagers to get into drugs so they can be filthy and rotten like you are.
Let me tell you, Wally, I take a lot of pride.
Let go of the microphone. Right. I don't want germs on my microphone.
I take a lot of pride in my appearance because what I'm trying to say is it doesn't matter what you look like, it's what you think. And what we think is revolution. But so we're going to overthrow you, Wally. You're the scum, and we're going to overthrow you.
You know, for anyone to get... And you know what? It isn't only that you come into this studio looking bad, but you smell like hell. I have news for you. You see, hey,
Wally, hold on. That was my aftershave cologne, Ode to Indica.
Yeah. You see, just hold it. You see, we have decent young people across this country, and we have the President of the United States who is trying to stop the drugging of America, especially the young people in America, and for you to take it upon yourself to try to induce these young kids to getting into drugs, I think that is simply despicable. What do you think? Wally, Hey, don't you realize what drugs do to people's brains, to their lives?
Let me tell you what they've done. It's pretty obvious that tonight we finally have a good crowd. These guys are pretty knowledgeable. And what the drugs do, it made these people aware, like I've told you before. It made them aware.
Hold on, wait a minute. Doing. Don't try to say that my audience is on drugs. They're not on drugs. The people in this audience are clean. They're good Americans. Am I right?
Hey, I'm a good American, Wally. Because
wait. Hey, hold on. Don't be a smartass.
Hey, hold on. If Reagan did smoke bud, he would be
wait a minute. Before our show is over, what other glorious adventure are you in now besides spreading the word of drugs?
No. We don't use coke. What we're doing now is we're getting into pornography. We're going to make a political pornography film. This is why I brought in Sinnamon tonight. She's going to be my co-writer and co-star in the film. And
hold on.
It's like Wally. She'll have to buy the video.
Oh, hold on. Your name is Cinnamon? Yeah. How in the world did you get involved with an idiot moron like him?
Wasn't difficult. No, I'm an open-minded person. I don't judge people by the way they look, and I have a lot of creative endeavors that I'm involved in. And when I met...
Wait a minute. Do you appear in X-rated pornographic films?
I've done a couple of them. I've done more R-rated and regular legitimate type.
Do you appear in porno films?
2 of them.
You have appeared in. Well then, you both deserve each other, and both of you are out of here.